The lighting is really good for my complexion.
Are we having fun yet?
We've been having fun. I don't know where you've been.
I'd like to welcome everybody to Let's Talk Racing and all the crazy people we have with us tonight. Matt Mullins, Anne-Marie Strawhand, and Huddy Hall.
Yeah, I'm normal.
Also Hudson. No, your Hudson Hall is normal?
I'm normal.
Wrong answer.
I'm the definition of normal.
I'm just going through some
That's
things.
what makes Hudson so interesting, is because he's not normal. He's
Well,
unique.
That's for sure. We won't go on further than that.
You're out there on a limb.
Right.
He's hanging from the leaf that's at the end of the limb. Okay?
He's the drop of water hanging off
Poor
the leaf.
Hudson. Everybody picks on him.
No, he's the sweat at the last toe of the person hanging onto the leaf.
They've picked on me ever since I was like 10 years old. No, 13 when I first met Matt. Well, met Matt.
Yeah, you're about 13. 13, 14. Yeah, you're right around there.
Yeah, ever since then, he's given me a hard time.
God, I've known you that long.
He's towed every race car I've ever owned.
That's
I mean,
true.
really, he has.
Whether it was
It's
straight
not
or
been a
crooked.
pretty thing when I tow him.
But either he would tow it to the racetrack for me some mornings, or he had to tow it home after the race sometimes.
Sometimes it went to my house before it went to his house because it was so tore up we couldn't unload it at night. But I did. I moved it when it was in one piece quite a few times. I took it up to Donnie's shop a couple times.
Yeah.
And I remember one time.
And then to one car, the Crusher.
Yeah.
The old Grand Stock, yeah.
Yeah.
Went to the Crusher. I had every car hit me. I blew a motor. I was on a fourth one night, and a guy from me blew a motor. And this was like, I think, 2000. Jimmy Overton blew a motor in front of me. Well, motor fell apart. I mean, oil everywhere in turn one. So when I had turn one, I'd lock the brakes up. I didn't know. My first year racing, I'd lock the brakes up and turn it just left. And
It don't go left, does it?
No, and
No,
that
it don't.
night was like a 27 car field. Every car hit me. I mean, it
That's
was
the night
terrible.
it came home on a rollback, and it spent the night at my house. I remember
I put a
I
that.
would
sticker
say
up.
there's a term for that, but I'm going to skip it.
Oh,
I
that
put a
was
sticker
football.
up.
Everybody takes a turn on Hudson.
Well, see, I used to have the rookie stripe, like my first year, but I got so bad. Like, I went to like a few weeks stretch where I was just like, so my dad had a sticker made put in the back of the car. It was a red sticker that said caution. I drive as bad as you do. And then on the back bumper. I have a picture of it too. I'll show Steve. Steve wants to see something like that.
Saturday night was kind of like that.
You had a front row seat to most of that.
Man, I had the perfect front row seat for almost
What
all
was
of
your
it.
take on Bab? Did he? Because I was in the stands with Rick, so we couldn't see if Bab. I mean, did Mike Rudy really slow up a little bit? And
Mike Rudy slowed up a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah, because we all checked up because I got on the brakes a lot harder than what I thought, and I left my nose pointed to the inside because I saw what was going to go on up there, and both times Scarborough. And I talked to Joe the other night. That is some of the best driving with Scarborough. You know what happened, don't you?
I saw the first race. So, I was in turn 4.
His
for the
rear
first-
end broke.
Oh, okay.
And the car turned dead right. And how he didn't wipe out the whole field, I have no idea.
Joe's like a damn good driver.
He did. It was damn good driving. That was great that he did that. Now the rest of the night was really interesting.
The word you're looking for was phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it was phenomenal what he did. How he did that, I haven't a clue. I don't.
But we're trying to get Hudson back in a car next year, and hopefully he won't have to have that stripe on the back of his bumper.
He wouldn't be able to unless he went into a division he's never been into.
Yeah.
That would be U-Cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Modifieds
Yeah.
And modified.
And trucks.
and trucks.
And Duros.
Trucks actually look like they'd
And
be
Enduros,
fun.
you don't get rookie stripes. They're just
No, everybody's a rookie in the enduro class.
Yeah.
What is this doing?
You guys are all on your Facebooks. I don't have my Facebook in front of me.
You want to log into yours?
Well, you can go switch back and
I've
forth.
got
Can you
the-
be
I've got
logged
the
in on
chat.
two Facebooks at the
Yeah,
same
you can
time?
Open one in Google and the other one in Internet Explorer.
Oh, that's a good idea.
See, that's what I was going to do earlier, but you said no, just do this. So I did that, and it worked. So
No, I
I'm
was
staying
telling
right
you,
with it.
You don't sign on twice in two different browsers if you're just going to open up the same thing.
Well, I was going to open
You
one up in
right-click.
Google, and I was going to open one up in Internet
So
Explorer.
where do
I
people
just need
ask
to-
questions for the show? Do they go into your chat room?
Well, they can go into the chat room. There is live call-in,
Okay.
but mostly the chat room.
We got a lot of scared people. We get a lot of people to watch it, but nobody goes on the
Can I
chat
take the
Nobody
phone
goes-
calls?
You can take the phone call. So what are we working on? Let's get back to that. If we're not going to talk about Saturday night, let's talk about that.
You love this. I just had a young man that called while we were setting up.
Yeah.
One of the PR guys had him set up to call in here, but he never reconfirmed it with me. But he had told him to call in at 7. And I'm sitting here looking through all my notes. And so he's going
Yes.
to be in next week.
Well, coming from being a PR person for many, many years, I pretty much remind my drivers exactly up to the last second that they're supposed to call into a radio show, because you really have to stay on top of them sometimes.
Now, speaking
been
of
there,
that-
been there, done that. Except for Hudson, he's really good at remembering things.
Who's your favorite driver you've ever worked for?
Who's my favorite
Yeah,
driver?
I-
Hudson Hall.
No, but I mean, come on. Like,
That's a good PR person right there.
That's what she's supposed to say. Hudson.
That's a good PR person.
I have a
Now,
question
hold
for
it.
you. I have a question for you before we go into that. Who's your favorite driver?
mine?
Tony Stewart.
I don't really have one, really. I mean,
Oh,
before
I'm giving you the answer.
before I started driving, I was a huge Stewart fan.
Right.
I was.
Okay.
But when I started getting more and more into racing, I really don't have favorites, because I see how hard it is, and I respect so much what they do, and see what it takes. So I kind of cheer for most of them, all of them really.
Well, one of the first lessons I
taught you
learned
that.
when I started working with Race 101, which is you say I am,
Oh, okay.
yes. This is Tony Blanchard, who is the crew chief that I work with at Race 101. We go around the room to all the students who are young drivers, and we ask them, who are your favorite driver? And they all say, whoever. And he says, you're all wrong. And they say, well, who should we say? Who's
Okay.
your favorite driver?
Okay. I'll keep this. I am.
Who's your favorite
I
driver,
am.
Hudson?
Ask him how many times when I'm taking him places, with different tracks, different people, I try to get him to meet any and everybody, especially people that are way up the ladder. He's
Right.
afraid to go introduce himself.
Well, you know what it is? I think Hudson is one of these people, and I have found that out about you. You're a very giving person. You're a very open person, and you're not afraid to talk to anybody. I found that out, which was when we went to the PRI show. He's great at that, really. He is.
It depends on the environment, you know.
In the
It depends
environment.
on who it is.
And he does a great job. And, one of the reasons Tony Blanchard teaches this at the Race 101, who's your favorite driver? You say me, because you have to think of yourself when you're on that racetrack. You're the number one guy. Nobody else is. So that's just the mentality that they tell you to have. But it's just a little thing that I learned from Tony from doing that. But what I want to say about Hudson, we're working together this year. We met each other back in October of last year at Langley Speedway. It was my first trip to
Trevor
Langley
Edwards.
Speedway. And he basically introduced me to everybody. You were like the most welcoming person there. And, I knew that I needed to definitely partner up with you in some way, shape, or form. And we first started out with working on a website together. And I did your website for you, designed that up. And then you started telling me about some of the things you were working on. And we are trying to put a program together for you. We're working on some sponsorships for next year and get you back. And potentially we're working on some late model stuff for him. And I have two companies. I have Drive-In Web Design. We do custom website design, mainly for motorsports, but we do for all types of companies and businesses. And then I have Motorsports Consultant Services, and I consult drivers into working on their careers and putting together sponsorships and things like that. And so Hudson and I, we just really are helping each other, because I'm kind of new here in the Langley market, and you are opening up a lot of doors for me, for my business, which has been great. And hopefully, with us working together, we can put together some deals for you to run late model next year and get some sponsorship together. But as far as the best driver that I've ever worked with for marketing themselves, and really, Roger, I can honestly say this, is Hudson Hall. Because he understands how marketing works. He understands that you have to put people together with people. He understands that it's all about relationships. He understands that, you can't sit back. You just got to keep hustling and picking up that phone and be accommodating to people. And really, when I took you to the PRI show, we went down. We had a great time, but we went down to the PRI show in Orlando. And I've told drivers, go out there, make connections, hand out your business card, see what deals you can put together. Hudson rode down with me. When we came back, he had so much stuff. He had gotten brochures and free stuff and all kinds of deals, and I couldn't fit the stuff in the back of my van to bring it home. And I was like, this is a young man who is driven to make things happen for his career, and I was very impressed by that. And
I think what really
I want to say
motivates
that
me
about
is,
you.
is that I don't come from a lot of money. Now, there's drivers now, late model, that just get money given to them. Mm-hmm. They just pay for everything. Mm-hmm. I don't have that. So that's why I work so hard. That's why I don't have the new cars every year. And that's why the past couple of years have been hard, because I don't have the money. I have to go and get it myself. So, I got to do it myself, really, Mm-hmm. So I think that's what pushes me so hard to keep pushing,
Well, and that's why it's going to be good with the two of us working together, because you're really good at researching the sponsors that you think will be really good for you. You have the connections locally. You know how to put people together in that their businesses fit together. And I think that the two of us working together, and I can help you close these deals, we can definitely make some things happen for you next year. And we're going to do a Hudson Hall comeback. And the first thing I love about Hudson is his name. It's a great driver name.
Hudson Hall? Yeah.
It's a great driver name. I love it. So we're going to work really hard together, and it's a team effort. And for any drivers and teams that are watching the show tonight, and you're working with a marketing or PR person or sponsorship person, it is a team effort. You have to work side by side with that person. You can't just say, go get me a sponsor, because that hardly ever works. It hardly ever works, and it's very hard to find trustworthy people that can do that. So work together, understand how to market yourself, and you will be successful getting sponsorship.
I hate it when he does that.
Was there a call? Can I answer the phone?
Is it Brennan?
Yeah.
Do they have a sponsorship question?
Actually, it's one of our next people who's going to be calling in.
Oh, good. Is he ready to talk to us?
Brennan, you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right. Welcome to the show. Let's give you take a minute here and tell us about yourself and what do you do and
Introduce yourself to him since he doesn't.
Okay.
Oh, well, I'm Matt. We've got Marie and Hudson sitting here with you. Marie, right?
Anna Marie.
Anna Marie.
That's okay.
Aim
Okay.
in the head,
Well, I just looked down. Okay, I got it now. Anna Marie, and tell us about yourself.
All right. Hi, how's it going? My name is Brennan Newberry. I'm 21 years old. I live here in Bakersfield, California, and I race NASCAR Can-Am Pro Series, number 29 now, and been racing since I was about 9 years old, starting go-karts, worked my way up into the stock cars when I was about 17. When I was 18, actually, my teammate now, Jeff Oleen, and I raced Ford Focus Midgets together in the California Pave Series, and he each got a win, me at Vegas, he at Madera, Altamont now, my bad. And then, so did that, and then 2009, I went back into the SRO Spears Southwest Tour Series, which is the old NASCAR Southwest Tour Series, just under a different sanctioning. Ran that, and in 2010, I ran a full SRO Spears Southwest Tour, finished fourth in points, and I also started, I had my debut in the Can-Am Pro Series at the 2010 Toyota All-Star Showdown, and I ran 4 races in that last year, in the SRO, and then this year I'm just running select SRO Spears Southwest Tour and NASCAR Can-Am Pro Series West Indies races.
K&M Pro Series, how you been doing in that this year?
Been doing pretty good, I think. Qualified fourth for the for the NASCAR Toyota All-Star Showdown, and had some problems there early on, and then didn't end up where we wanted to. The next race I went to was actually in Phoenix. I got my first ever pole there. I qualified in the pole, and then just under pitting was coming through the field, just got tangled up in someone else's mess, and were nice for that. Then I went on to Iowa, where I qualified fourth overall, but I was awarded the West pole for that. And then, yet again, I made a mistake there. Didn't get the finish we wanted. Then it was on to Vegas, where I actually qualified really bad for for getting 2 poles and then ended up finishing 5th. So not really sure what's going on there. And then just went to Irwindale for the July 2nd race, qualified 3rd, ended up 11th overall. So there's a lot of really good with really bad ups and downs, just like you would expect in racing. But these cars are really fun. Basically, they're just as heavy as as they will be, moving up and stuff like that. I think it's a really good feeder series for going into the NASCAR Camping World Truck, Nationwide, and Sprint Cup, like I'm aspiring to do.
Do you have a time frame from moving up that far?
I'd like to get there, before I'm, old enough to where they say I'm too old. But I would really like to move up into the Truck Series within the next 2 years. I feel that's just where I need to be as far as progression, and then depend upon what happens from there, go into the Nationwide and Sprint Cup, or just straight to the Sprint Cup Series. But I'd like to make it there before 30. That'd be a really good accomplishment. If I made it to the Cup Series by 27 or 28, it'd be just as fun. But I want to be there when I feel that I'm ready. And heck, who knows when that's going to be in this day and age? It's just this sport's about getting breaks, who you know, and when it's your time, you just got to go in there and hit everything perfect and shine. So that's just kind of where I am.
How do you this K&N? You just said you came from the Ford Focus Midgets and then moved up into the K&N, and you've been doing looks like a little bit of racing all over the place. What do you think of these K&N cars?
Like I said, I think they're really cool. They're big, heavy, and there isn't as much power as there would be in a truck or Nationwide car for sure. But I definitely think it's the principle of driving a bigger, heavier car, trying to figure out how to slow them down, and at the same time keep the momentum up. So I really like these cars. I like going to the bigger tracks, like the Phoenixes and Iowa. My teammate Jeff and I are going to try to make our debut on the East Coast in New Hampshire. So I like that about this series, that you can take these cars. They're meant to go run those big tracks, and heck, they're a lot of fun. They're a lot to handle, and you have to continually make your adjustments as the race goes on, as far as how much brake, how much throttle, steering, everything like that. So I really enjoy these cars. They're fast, they're fun, and like I said, it's just a step of progression. As I try and Jeff try to make our way up in the series.
Now, who's your team owner? How's that working out? Is this your car?
Yeah, it's my team. It's NTS Motorsports. My dad actually owns it. He started racing Super Late models here at Bakersfield at a local track called Mason Run Raceway. And it was then when I told him that I wanted to race, then I started hopping into go-karts, and NTS Motorsports, the family was all built. So that's just kind of how it's gone. My dad and I have gone from 3 or 4 go-karts, my dad and my sister racing, and then I am the one who moved up into late models, super late models, SRL, and now the West. So my dad runs it, owns it. We have a gentleman here named Gary Collins. His family owned the Mason Run Raceway. He manages everything for us, and it's actually right now the full-time employees is a gentleman named Robert Campos. He's our full-time employee. Then Jeff and I are just part-time whenever we aren't going to school, and whenever Jeff is here for the summer.
Any plans to come to Charlotte?
Well, that's always the plan whenever you begin. We'd really like to. Like I said, we're trying to get out to the East Coast this year, go to the NASCAR Can-Am Pro Series East race at New Hampshire. But, like I said, I want to be in trucks in the next couple years. So, whenever that would happen, then that would mean that I'd make my way over to the East Coast, hang out with you folks over there.
Yeah, I'd love to see you out here. The K&N race was here May?
June
18th.
June 18th, we had the K&M Pro Series here, East. and that was a heck of a show here.
Yeah, was
That's
that
good.
was that the Gresham race? Or I mean, not the Gresham, the Bowman Gray race.
No.
Langley Speedway.
Langley Speedway.
Oh, Langley. Oh,
Yeah.
Yep. Actually, Jeff and I watched a little bit of that. Yeah, it seemed like a heck of a show, man.
They were going 3 wide on a track that was only meant to go 1.5 wide.
It was a good show.
And
It was really good.
Yeah, I mean, don't make us racers out to be the smartest people in the world, but heck, we'll try anything, I guess, if it'll help us move up in position.
I've always said when they put the helmet on, the brain goes right out the window.
yeah, but I like to think that I get smarter when I put mine on. I'm not really sure how that works, though.
It doesn't matter. So, let me get you on. Let me get your sponsors here and all that. We're going to back it up with another guy calling in here in a few minutes.
Okay.
Don't forget your parents.
Never. I can't forget them, man.
There you go.
They'd be all over me. So obviously, first I have to thank my parents, Bob and Monica Newberry. They've really just helped me so much. And then, obviously my sisters, Stephanie and Devin, who are both younger than me, they've sacrificed a lot. Not hanging out with friends or going to dances or anything like that, just to go to my races, help support the team. I have a couple sponsors, Draeger Technology. They're really big in gas monitors and things like that in Europe and even here in the U.S. They've really stepped up and helped Jeff and I both this year, so they've been our primary sponsor. And then we have a new marketing team called Carson Racing out here in California. They're out of Las Vegas, and they've been helping us lately, doing some promotion stuff and just hanging out with us NTS Motorsports team. But I have to thank my whole entire crew here, NTS Motorsports. They've probably worked as hard just as any team has out here, just trying to help get us to the track week in and week out. These guys are, they aren't full-time employees. They're just normal guys who have normal families, normal jobs. So for them to be able to sacrifice some of their time during the weekday after work and sacrifice their weekends with their family, I really appreciate everything they've done for me. They've they definitely become a huge part of my family, and I respect every one of them very much.
Sounds like you got a bunch of good sponsors and a good family there. That was cool. You thanked your siblings there for.
Oh yeah, no, I got it. I mean, they, heck, whenever I was in high school, I'd miss a lot of the weekend functions and everything with my friends, and and it was because I was racing, and my sisters miss it just because I'm racing, and it's not, for them. So they sacrificed a lot for me. And then I also forgot to thank my teammate Jeff Oleen. He's, he and I are probably the closest thing to best friends. But heck, in racing it's hard to have friends. So it's really cool to have him on the team, and for he and I to be working together at the shop during the week and at the racetrack on the weekend. So I have to thank everybody on NTS Motorsports and all my sponsors. It's just it's great to have sponsors in this day and age. With the type of economy we have. So I'm very fortunate, like I said, to have the family and the sponsors, and very fortunate to be able to be racing week in and week out like I am.
Cool. Well, you keep on racing, and hopefully we'll see you in Trucks Nationwide Sprint here soon.
Yep. That's the plan, sir. I hope to see you guys then as well. Thank you very much for having me on. It was very nice to meet all of you.
Brennan, go out and get a win and come back on.
All right, that sounds good. I'm getting ready to go get one in the SRL Sphere Southwest Tour this weekend in Rocky Mountain Raceway in Salt Lake City, and then I have another opportunity August 6th in the NASCAR Can-Am Pro Series West in Colorado National. But thank you guys very much.
All right, thanks, Brennan. We'll be talking to you.
Did you get him a chance to talk to Anna sponsorship stuff? Or?
I don't want to ask him about sponsorship. We were just looking at his Facebook, and he's got a really cute girlfriend that he has a lot of pictures with.
Brennan, are you still there?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let the ladies take over on this one.
My question is...
You still got 2 or 3 minutes left.
Okay, my question is that, drivers have girlfriends and wives and their moms, and, and even on the female side, the female drivers have their boyfriends or their significant others or their dads, How does that work with you and your girlfriend? Does she love racing? Is she involved in your team? Does she have a job to do?
honestly, my mom, sisters, and my girlfriend are actually all just team support. They come, they do whatever they can. They help us in the pits. They do basically whatever they need. My girlfriend is probably one of the most understanding women in racing, besides my mom, who has to watch me every weekend. And
you got to give a shout out to the moms and the girlfriends and the wives, because they're who take care of you at the racetrack, right?
Yeah, no, they definitely do. My girlfriend's very understanding. Actually, we're going to be working late tonight trying to get the cars in the trailer, and she understands that sometimes I can't hang out with her as much as both of us want. But she's very supportive, and I'm very supportive of what she does. She's going to college for nursing, and obviously I'm going to college just to get a little more business sense in the racing business. But definitely my girlfriend Megan, and
there you go.
They really just like you said, they really support us. They really sacrifice a lot, and heck, who understands us boys in our racing? But they do their best.
Well, that's good. You seem like a very, very nice young man, and I wish you the best. And I'm going to keep following you now that I know where you are on Facebook here. And but we were just talking about what would we do without Facebook.
Heck, I mean, you wouldn't know as much of people's personal business as you think you would. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but you definitely know more than you need to know sometimes. But
well,
it definitely helps you keep connected and be able to network to fans that you can't.
I'm going to dish out a little Facebook advice for young drivers who are working their way up through the ranks.
Yes, ma'am.
And, one of the things, from a sponsor's point of view, and I've worked on both sides of the fence here, they will check you out on the internet. They will Google you when they're looking to sponsor you. They will check you out. They will see if there's any kind of suggestive pictures or things on the internet about you. So, just keep that. Not that I saw anything bad about you. You seem like you really are a nice, clean-cut young man. But, there's a lot of things that sponsors can find out before they decide to write that check. So always keep that in mind. It's just like going for a job, so...
Background checks.
Yeah, just be careful what you post on the internet, because it's usually there forever.
You're right. That's why you can see my last post was, I think, in December of last year. I just don't know what to put on that thing.
There you go. Hudson, do you have any questions? I took up the whole time. Sorry.
You're good.
Have a good night, and we appreciate you for calling in. We'll talk to you another time.
All right, thank you very much, guys.
Have a good one.
And ma'am, thank you. Bye.
Thanks, man. We'll see you later.
All right, bye.
Hi, my name is Natalie Sather. I drive the 94 K&N Lady Eagle Safety Wear, Butler built seats, bell helmets, hooker harness seatbelts, number 94 at South Boston Speedway. Be sure to listen to Let's Talk Racing TV.
I'm Sam Hunt, drive a 42 car on the thing. Let's Talk Racing.
So I can put on more lipstick and nobody will see me?
Yeah.
Now to come
Until the
back on.
commercial ends.
Oh.
And I would be happy to talk to you, but we can't. Oh, no. Now we can, can't we? Are we back on?
It doesn't say mute, so I'm going to say yes.
We need one of those signs like they used to have in the old
On the
days.
air,
On the
off
air.
the air.
Matt, would you go on the farm tomorrow?
Friday. I'm going up Friday. Why?
I'll be up there either tomorrow or Friday.
Okay, I want you to I need you to explain something to me.
By the way, went back to
Yeah, we're back on the air. We know that. We figured it out on our own, by the way.
Actually, it was surprising. It was running slow there.
On our own, by the way. We figured it out.
Keep leaning. You'll be all the way out of the picture.
Rick has always been a good friend of mine, and he's been a good friend of yours. Would somebody explain to me what planking is?
It's simply laying face.
Well, I'm gonna let Hudson. I'm gonna let Hudson explain.
It started over, I think, in England or whatever, but over there it's called the line down game, and all it is, I mean, it's just you find the most bizarre, awkward places to just lay flat as you can. Just I mean, it's I don't know. I mean,
Like a piece of wood. For some reason it's caught on.
yeah, it's caught on in the U.S. and
People have way too
Jimmy
much time on their
Jimmy
hands.
Johnson did it. Did you see his? Jimmy Johnson did it, and it was just like people were like trying to copy what he did, And
I haven't seen any of them. I just hear them on the radio. People talking about them.
this would,
Now.
yeah.
You saw he did his up on the stand.
Well,
It's
no,
just
I
a
seen
fad.
the one did it. Somebody did it at New Hampshire.
Yeah, Doug.
Doug did it at New Hampshire, and then
Yeah.
Rick did it on the back of a car or something. And then, so I see these
Actually,
planking.
the two that Rick took, I took the pictures. The one for him and Danica, and then the flag stand.
and then the flag.
I took
stand.
both those pictures. Actually, it was my idea. But Rick was just like, "Hey, I'll do it." I was like, "All right."
I have another story about Rick on that last late model race. I'll say it off.
Which Rick are you talking about?
Get over.
Get over it.
Oh, okay. I haven't met him yet. I met Brandon.
You meet him Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll meet him Saturday.
This is what Jimmy Johnson planked.
Is this the Jimmy Johnson?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, he
Yeah,
did it
has-
across the
yeah.
cars? Oh, no, that's cute.
He had his
Wow.
forehead on his car and his feet on Dale Jr.'s car. He said that his head hurt for a week afterwards.
Oh, I
Is
bet
that on
it
your
did.
Facebook, that picture?
Rick's.
Oh, it's on Rick's Facebook. Okay.
So Rick has started this planking.
It's a fad. I mean,
Oh, okay,
it's
okay.
been getting around.
We can have some fun with this.
Oh, I know.
We can really have some fun
I
with
think
this.
that's why people
And-
do cotton on is something easy everyone can do.
Doug and Craig have already
Get creative.
devised this plan that they're going to put into preparation pretty soon. So it should be pretty good.
This is going to get interesting.
And the key is go somewhere awkward and then post it and then just see how many sponsors you get. And that's kind of all it is. So,
Okay.
yep.
I just can't wait to see all this.
Yes,
I'm waiting with bated breath.
Oh, geez, y'all gonna be a world of hurt, man. This is crazy.
Chris.
Yeah, right.
Kolstad. Right?
How you doing?
You got Matt Mullins, myself, Roger, Anna Marie, and Hudson Hall in here with you.
Hello.
How you doing, guys?
Hey, and I've talked to you before.
Okay, a lot of you guys have, to be honest with you. We've talked to so many over the years. Sometimes I have a hard time with names, so I apologize.
That's all right. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a Minnesota boy, so we got a little bit in common. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm born and raised in the Minneapolis area, up in a little town called Cambridge, Minnesota. I'm actually standing outside my home track, the Princeton Speedway, right now,
Yeah.
running a midweek show tonight. So you're going to see how this goes for us. I'm kind of excited about that. But, we've been doing this marketing thing for 4 years off and on, helping guys get sponsorships for their race teams, local or national. We've gotten a little bit stronger every year. I'm excited where it's going to go and continues to go, and some of the people that call us on a daily basis now, and just hoping to keep growing and keep helping guys.
How does and this is what I want to kind of get to. How does somebody go, like, I'm looking for a sponsorship for 2 dates down here. How would I go about calling you and saying, hey, does somebody want to advertise on my car?
We've got a website, which is just projectxmarketing.net. That's got my phone number on it. Otherwise, my cell phone number is 763-742-6205. Pretty much by it day and night. I do work a day job as an autism counselor, too, but I'm usually kind of juggling the two. Typically, we're pretty accessible. We do take text messages to that number, too, if people have a better time getting a hold of us. I know during the workday, sometimes it's hard to catch people when you don't have the time to call. But otherwise, the website's a good way to find us. We're all over Facebook with the Project X marketing page, with my personal page. You're welcome to check us out at either. And like I said, we're about as accessible as it gets out there. So,
And now, who are some of them that you give us some names of people that you've been helping out?
we worked with the Cub guys a couple of years ago with the Keyed Up Motorsports team. That was the 90 car last year with Scott Riggs and Casey Mears in it. A little bit of a struggle, to be honest with you. I think we learned at that time that maybe I wasn't ready to play at those levels quite yet. And, lesson learned. We step back and we try and help out the local guys. One of them we're helping out. One of the bigger names nationally would be a kid named Nick Berry up in New Hampshire. We're trying to help Nick progress himself, hopefully, to the World of Outlaw Series next year. Mainly we work with just local guys, so not a whole lot of huge name guys. Up in this area, one of my biggest guys people recognize anyway is Ryan Bowers.
Yeah.
Ryan's a Midwest modified guy that's making a name for himself here pretty well, and hopefully he'll pick up some feature wins pretty soon. The kid's got as much talent as anybody I've ever seen. And just helping out the little guys. We work with a lot more of the mid to backpack guys and try and help bring them up through the ladder instead of, the big name guys are usually the ones that have the big checkbooks.
Well, exactly. And sometimes it's the little guy that needs the help more than the big guy.
And that's it. And, you know, to me, it's fun to work with the back of the pack guys and help them become the front of the pack guys.
Right.
We've had 17 guys that have gotten their first feature wins in the last 3 years since they started working with us. And it's the coolest thing to me to sit back and watch those guys get their first win and know we were a part of it.
Cool. I'm looking for sponsor for 2 races. You think you can help me out?
I think we could. I think you can give me a call anytime this week. I should be around, and we can try and set something up to help you out.
All right. We can do this. Now, Minnesota guy, a lot of dirt, isn't it?
It is. It's pretty much all dirt up here. I think we're down to 2 asphalt tracks, that being Elko and Raceway Park, and
Yep.
Elko covers theirs with dirt for about a month out of the season every year, too. So
I actually grew up in Iowa, and there was 384 racetracks and only 1 asphalt, and that was Cedar Rapids.
I think Cedar Rapids is still asphalt, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it?
Yep, it still is. Well, now I got to, you know, if you count Iowa Speedway, there's 2.
That kind of counts. That's not really for the local guy, though.
Yeah, that's really not for the local guy, but
Yeah, and it's amazing to me how different the personalities are from dirt to asphalt when you work with guys. You know, it just seems like there's more money and more pride almost on the asphalt side, where guys are more uptight and tense about how things go, which isn't always a bad thing. But it just seems to be more of a business to them, and the dirt seems to be more of a hobby.
exactly. I got to agree with you on that. I would rather, you know, asphalt's nice for racing on, but dirt, it's totally different people.
It is. I mean, I've got 22 guys, I think we figured out, that have run asphalt but now run dirt.
Yeah.
Just because it's so much more laid back. You know, and I think that has a lot to do with the cost of the asphalt racing, too, in comparison. Dirt racing isn't cheap, but asphalt is a whole different breed.
Oh, you're right about that.
I mean, just the chassis for some of those asphalt late models are what most guys are paying for a full dirt late model or modified.
Exactly. Well, look at some of what the Cup guys are doing. They're going to dirt. You know, they're going back and they're playing on dirt because they want to go have a good time. You know, your Tony Stewarts, your Ryan Newmans, your Kenny Schraders. You know, these guys are going to play on dirt, you know, just because it's more fun.
Well, and that's it. You know, you look at the number of guys that own dirt tracks, too, that are up at those levels. And
yeah.
Another one up at the NASCAR ranks that was running dirt last week was Steve Arpin down at Deer Creek Speedway here in Minnesota.
Yep.
Steve's kind of a huge local favorite up here and super, super nice kid. Hopefully he can get himself a nice break here pretty soon. But
hey, have you ever been down to Jackson, Minnesota?
I just went there for the first time this year about Memorial Day weekend.
Really?
That was my first trip there, and we swung over to Hudson, South Dakota the next night, and I absolutely love both of those facilities.
Hudson is a neat place. So's Jackson.
I like them, and it's just kind of fun to see how different animals they are from each other, even being only an hour apart.
Yeah.
My home track is a high bank quarter mile. You know, Jackson is easily a half mile. They say it's only half. I'm not even sure I believe that.
It is actually an outside half.
It's, you know, and maybe I'm spoiled a little bit by the quarter mile, so everything looks bigger to me, but when we went to Hudson, we sat up in the top row, and I was just mesmerized. We were 3 hours early, and I just sat there and stared off over the fields and over the track, and I've never seen a view like that at a racetrack before. If I lived, you know, not 5.5 hours from there, I'd be there a little bit more often, I think. But hoping to get down there maybe a few more times next year. I don't think we'll get there this year yet. But
yeah. Now, do you worry more about the sprint cars, late model modifieds? What's kind of your?
Most of the guys we work with, honestly, are in the street stock up to modified divisions. We do get some late models and sprints. Late models, we've got a decent representation of. Sprint cars, we don't get a whole ton just because there's not a whole ton in Minnesota anymore.
Right.
They're picking back up here, but I think it's going to be a while before that gets there. And you know, I enjoy working with anyone from the bottom rung all the way up to the top. But at the same time, you know, those street stock 4-cylinder guys, that's where it starts. You know, those are the guys that are going to be in the modifieds and late models and sprint cars down the line. So those are the guys that I think sometimes it's the most fun to help out.
They seem to appreciate the sponsorship more, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you talk to a 4-cylinder guy, you tell him, I get guys call me from 4-cylinder classes, if I could just get $250 for this weekend, I'd be thrilled. And if we can even get them half of that in the 4-day notice or whatever, they're absolutely stoked.
Exactly.
You know, to them, it's not to say their class isn't just as important, but it's not as expensive.
Exactly. But that even half that money, yeah, that makes all the worlds of a difference to them guys in the 4-cylinders.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, our home track here, the Princeton Speedway, we run a Hornet class up here. $125 is probably close to 15% of what some of these guys have in their cars.
Yeah.
At that point, you get 5-6 sponsors, you're pretty much racing for free.
This is kind of goes. I don't know if this even applies, but what's been some of the weirdest requests out of sponsors?
I have had guys call me for the strangest product sponsorships they wanted me to call. I can't even go into some of them publicly because they're a little adult content.
We can skip those.
I mean, I've had people call me all the way for, I had a guy call me asking me if we could get product sponsorship for spare tires for his wife's car. Guys that wanted me to hit up the local bar and just see if they could get half-price beer. I've had guys call me just to get, as simple as pit passes to different events. Those ones aren't so strange, but they're pretty common.
Right.
I guess, weird-wise, I don't really get a whole lot of strange requests, but when we do, they're pretty memorable ones. But most of them are on the adult theme side of things.
So in other words, ones that we want to talk about off the air.
Probably.
Okay, we can do that. What are some of the big sponsors you've got now that you want to kind of throw out there?
Some of the bigger ones we've worked with companies like Mike's Hard Lemonade, although we're no longer working with them as they've taken over with some cars down here. They're on Steve Arpin's car. They're doing a bunch of stuff with dirt guys. We worked with Ultra 90 Supplements a couple of years ago. We've worked with Rockstar Seeds, which is a huge sunflower seed company up here that's growing and growing and growing. A lot of local bars and stuff like that to help out the local guys. I don't like to pursue a whole lot of the big national stuff for the local guys. And it's not that we don't like doing it, I shouldn't say, but it's a matter of, stepping back and trying to figure out how you justify a $1,500 sponsorship to, a Hornet guy from a big company when you can get him 3 from a local bar in half the time.
Exactly.
So we tend to do a lot of that just because of the time involved, but...
Have you ever had that impossible sponsor?
Oh, absolutely. We've had a pretty heavy number of those, I think. I've had guys come to me that came to me in June wanting $800,000 to run the rest of the World of Outlaw late model schedule. I've had guys that have called me 4 days before a nationwide race looking for $75,000.
Hey, that's not infrequent nowadays.
Oh, it's pretty common to get them calls, but... and it's not that that's a bad thing. It's just people have to realize what's realistic and what's not, too.
Exactly.
We like to think we're as good as anybody out there at what we do. However, at the same time, I'm not a magician.
Exactly.
If I could make $75,000 a year in 4 days, I'd be driving a lot nicer car to work every day.
Wouldn't we all?
So you say you're at? Did he say he was at a track right now, or?
Yeah, he's getting ready to go into a track. So.
All right. I know you've got to get going, Chris. We're going to go ahead and let you get off the line here.
Sounds good. Well, thank you guys very much for your time.
All right, man. We'll be talking to you.
We'll get you back on here again.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Have fun.
Bye-bye.
And we have Jeff Oleen. Jeff, you there?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Good. How you doing tonight, man?
We're doing really good. We're just busy loading up our trailers, getting ready to head over to Salt Lake City tomorrow morning.
Jeff, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, 21 years old, and I'm just one of those kids that's trying to live out this crazy passion, try to turn it into a career. So I'm doing everything I can to see if I can race for a living.
Where are you at?
Well, right now I'm sitting at the old Mason Moran Speedway at Gary Collins Motorsports, Bakersfield, California. But originally I'm from Bethesda, Maryland, and I go to school down in Winston-Salem State University in North Carolina. So I'm kind of all over the place. But for the summer I'm in Bakersfield with the Gary family.
Cool. So Utah area, right? No.
We're going to be racing in Utah this weekend, but California.
California.
That's a big jump. What brought you over there?
What's that?
What brought you over there? That's a big jump from Maryland to California.
The Newberries, they own NTS Motorsports. Bob Newberry does.
Yes.
And he's pretty much like a second dad to me. I'm best friends with his son, Brennan. They asked me, gave me a great opportunity to come race one of their cars this year in the SRL Series and in Pro Series. And man, that was just about like the biggest thing I could do this year. Probably the best thing I could do. So luckily, I got to come out here and up and race with them. So I'm racing. When I'm not racing, I'm helping Brennan. But most of the time, we're working on cars and racing. Like, it's awesome, man.
That's a good lifestyle, isn't it?
Oh, dude, I love it. And we're that's all we do. We travel around, work on the cars, and race. Nothing else you could ask for.
Well, our friend Matt had to take a quick break. So I'm Anna Marie. I didn't get to introduce myself. I'm helping out with the show tonight, and I guess I'm going to take over this interview. Jeff, we were talking about Facebook tonight and social networking. That's one of the subjects we were talking about. You know, young drivers promoting their careers and things like that. And how do you market yourself? How do you promote yourself?
You know, I've been trying to use a lot of the social media stuff. I'm taking a lot of marketing classes at school. Currently, I'm taking motorsports management at Winston-Salem State. So I take a lot of motorsports marketing classes, get a lot of seminars, and from what I've heard in lectures and in classes, Facebook, Twitter, all the social media, that's free and it's prevalent. Everybody's on it. So I've been trying to plug away at that. You know, I'm probably not doing the best out of everybody using that, but I'm definitely trying to use it. So I think that's the best way I've been able to keep in contact with people and network. But mostly, you know, I send out emails after every race to anybody that wants to be on my email list. So I keep in contact with a lot of people that way, and that's a really good strategy for me. Cheap, I mean, it's free, and it gets everywhere I need to go.
That's good. That's good. So, you know, what are your career goals?
You know, I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to race in the Sprint Cup Series. That's pretty much everything I ever want to do. So whatever it takes to get there, that's what I want to do. I want to be competitive at everything I do. I want to be a contender.
So if you're going to have like a 5-year plan, I mean, you know, just say, what would be like your 5-year step plan, you think?
It's tough to say. You know, like a few years ago, I always thought it'd be good to have a good ladder system, but the way with the economy is, just the way the world works, nothing ever turns out the way you want it to. But, you know, my plan is with NTS Motorsports. They're going really big, and they're giving me great equipment and such a great family and team to be around. So anything they can get me in. I love these K&N cars. I've only done 2 races series so far, so I'd love to keep on racing K&N cars next year. And then, you know, whenever Brennan starts moving up, doing, he ever does trucks or nationwide or something like that, I love to follow in his footsteps.
Like with the K&N cars, you can almost move that into a 3-year plan because you're already in a stepping stone series with the K&N, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody sees you potentially for trucks or nationwide right there. You're right there getting exposure, you know, in front of the right people. Absolutely. You know, that's the most important thing. And you're on TV, you know, and so who would you like to thank today? Who are the most important people, you know, personally that you would like to thank as far as helping you along your career?
Well, I got to say the person I got to thank the most is my dad, Dick Oleen. Involved in this, and without him, I wouldn't be racing at all. I mean, he's my main support. My mom and my dad, I couldn't do any of this without them. And then the Newberry family, all of them, Monica and Bob, and Brennan and his sister Stephanie and Devin. They're great. They took me in. I live with them now, so I live in Bob's game room. He made this big, huge game room in the backyard, so it's cooler than the apartment I stay in High Point. Got pool tables in there and all sorts of stuff. So that's really cool. And I got to thank Gary Collins and the whole NTS team, and then also Fit. You know, Fit. They've been helping me train for about 4 years. So they're the main guys that keep me running, and I'm always looking for new people to help me keep on going because I'd love to get into trucks nationwide and Cup one day, but the thing that I've realized is I don't think it's like 1980s anymore. Like, you can't be like a Cole Trickle like on Days of Thunder. You almost have to have your own sponsorship, be your own businessman, and the more support I can, more finances I can get, the faster I can move up the ladder. So I think as long as I can keep on getting more support, I can keep on going further.
We were just asking him who he wanted to thank and all that kind of stuff. You know,
Gotta do that.
You know, we were talking about having mentorship and having people. You know, that's so important. You know, having that mentorship to help ease the learning curves and open up doors for you and all that kind of stuff. It's so important for a young driver nowadays. How old are you?
I'm 21. I just turned 21 last year.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Got a girlfriend?
No, I don't have a girlfriend right now. Yeah, I told
Ooh.
they're career enders. I take his advice and stay away from having long-term girlfriends right now. Keep on plugging away at racing, and then one day if that goes really smooth, maybe I'll start looking at getting into a relationship. My main priority right now.
You make it to Cup, you'll have a lot of girlfriends, so you need to be
already
very,
said that.
very choosy and very, very careful.
I'll keep
Because they're there for the wrong reasons.
I'll keep away from the tit lizard.
There you go. There you go. Man, that's even made it out to the West Coast. I thought that was an East Coast slang.
That's great.
But as far as like the mentors, spot on. Like everybody needs a mentor in life, but in racing, I don't think you can have enough of them. I've learned a lot from. I raced with Frank Denny last year.
Yeah.
For FDJ Motorsports, and I gotta say that guy, you know, he might have more enemies than he does fans, but it's for a reason because he drives the heck out of those race cars. He taught me a lot last year, my first year of stock cars. I learned a lot from him, and now I'm learning a lot from Gary Collins.
Hey, Jeff.
Back in the day.
Now, did you come out that one time when all the snow was up in the mountains with Frank over to the NASCAR Sports Grill with us?
No, he didn't.
Last year, right? Last winter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was with Frank, I think.
Yeah,
Was he there?
Yeah, I thought he was because they had such a fun time with the snow and everything.
Yeah, I think I was there. I think maybe Justin Johnson was there, too, if I remember.
I don't think it was Justin. It was 3 kids. That's all I remember. There was 3 young kids. One was 13. One was 16.
Okay, no, that wasn't me. That was
Yeah.
2 kids.
Because none of these kids were of drinking age.
No.
Well, back last year he wouldn't have been either.
Yeah, but these 3 kids didn't even have facial hair. They were young, okay?
And I wish I was young again. I feel old being 21.
Oh no, son, you're not old yet. Don't even start saying I'm too old for this yet. That's my job.
Just remember, there's this guy that drives the number 89 car nationwide. Morgan Shepherd. And so you can always say, I'm not that old yet, so hey, I can keep cranking.
James Hilton is 74 or 75 this year, still cranking it out. Red Farmer is still racing. Kenny Schrader.
Frank Kimmel.
Frank Kimmel's just turned 50, I think. So, man.
Could be worse. I could go hop back in a car again and have another level to deal with.
I'm not even going to go there.
I got plenty of left side weight.
I'm not even going to go there.
So anyways, Jeff, what else do you want to talk about tonight? We're getting silly and off track about things, but that's why we have fun over here. But what is the most embarrassing moment you've ever had in your career?
He's not going to.
Now that we're getting silly and talking about left side weight.
What's an embarrassing moment?
Are you willing to share?
To choose from.
Come on, speak up now.
No embarrassing moments in your racing career? Yeah, well, he's so young. There'll be one. There's one on the way eventually. No other juicy things you can tell us that nobody else knows about you that you can divulge on the show?
I can give Frank the call and find some of these things out. You know that, right?
Oh man, Frank's got too much dirt on me.
See?
There you go.
But I know one. This is pretty funny. My first time I went down to South Boston Speedway a couple years ago. I was with Frank, and you guys probably don't know this, but my mother's Vietnamese, so I'm half Vietnamese, half Caucasian, you know. And I walk up with Frank into the tower to go sign for a pit pass. Lady working there, she looks at me, and she looks at Frank, and then she goes and stares at Frank and says, she goes, Frank, does this boy over here, does he speak English? She wouldn't even talk to me, so I thought that was pretty embarrassing.
There you go.
Did you ever hear the story about Joey Logano coming to it was the second Denny Hamlin race at Southside?
Oh.
Did you ever hear what happened? You know Granny.
Yeah.
We have this lady she's been in the Southside pits gate forever.
And
Call her Granny. And if you met her once, she knows you. Logano walked up, and he says, I'm Joey Logano. I'm here to sign in. And she says, who are you with? And he said, the Logano clan.
He wasn't getting past her.
The family.
No, you do not get past Granny.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you. I'm not so sure she's still not there.
Yeah, I got to say, I miss the people back on the East Coast. There's a lot of fun racing 100 miles out Boston.
Well, you'll get back here soon enough.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be back there. I mean, I'll be back for school. I can race out there again.
Cool.
You have to get with Frank, see if he can round you up a car.
Yeah, well, I got to see if I can get recruited back to the FTJ Army.
There you go. So, all right. Well, excuse me. Did he thank his sponsors? Have we done all that?
He thanked
Or
his
are we
special
still on
people,
script?
but I didn't know if there was any sponsors he wanted to thank too. Asked him to thank his special people that helped him.
Got some sponsors there you need to take care of?
Yeah, well, we just started working with Terry Carson. You guys know him?
Terry Carson, yeah.
Carson Racing, yes, I know Terry really well.
Yeah, so they've been hanging out with us a lot. Him and his daughters, Carson Racing. If everybody listening, if you guys go on to carsonracer.com, their online magazine, they did a big old thing with the Newberry family and me. So stuff up there. So I like Carson's for coming out, supporting us, trying to get us another step further. But also thank Brehm Contracting. They came on board the last race at Irwindale, so I really like to thank them for helping me out. You know, my mom and dad and the Newberry family, without them, I couldn't do anything.
Yes, I had a message from Terry earlier today talking about Newberry.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. So he's probably going to be on next week or the week after that show. I'll just have to see what I got open for him.
Yeah, you guys got to get me and Brennan back on the show later this year. Hopefully we'll get a couple wins in here for you. Talk about something good.
Cool beans.
How do we keep track of you? You have a website?
Yeah, I have a website. It's jeffoleen.com. And
Great.
I'm on Twitter. My Twitter's on the website. It's edited on the page. I'm always updating. On Facebook, Jeff Oleen. So add me, and I'm always adding stuff on there. So
Well, I want to friend you on Facebook and keep track of how you're doing. And you seem like a really nice young man with a bright future. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much. Did it. And yeah, I'd love to keep in contact with all of you guys. And if you ever need anybody to talk to on the air, just give me and Brendan a call.
You got it. We can do that. Go get a wind and then come back on, too.
All right. Well, hopefully that'll happen this Saturday at Salt Lake City.
There you go. So, anyway, we'll be talking to you later.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Bye, Jeff.
Bye. Hold on. Got it. I did it. I actually did it.
No, Hudson was supposed to turn his phone off while he was on the air.
Way to go.
Oh, he doesn't ever turn that phone off.
What happened Saturday? I missed it, so when I heard it was a good thing. We started talking about it.
What? With me?
No, lately, just in general.
It turned out to be a good night. It took us 4 times to start the first modified race. Scarborough broke a rear end, and the car turned flat right, and how he didn't get creamed, I don't know. Then we started again, and I think somebody jumped, and then we started again, and somebody spun out, And then I think the fourth time, the 11 car hit the wall in turn 1. I do know Mike Rudy was having motor issues all night. So he was having problems, because even somebody else, Thomas, was on the radio with me and said Rudy's just having some bad starts. He dropped a valve. So Anthony Kincaid won the first one.
Okay.
Finally
Nice.
won the first one. Sean won the second one.
Sean got a 2-1 that night.
Yeah, he finished second, and then his teammate finished second to him in the second race, Tom Van Gilder. So
Nice to see some different people.
Speaking of 1-2s, how'd you feel about the Stuart Haas racing?
Yeah.
That was
1-2.
cool.
That was
Ryan
pretty
and
cool.
Tony.
Started first, second, finished first, second.
That team's been do it, and they always run very well at Loudon.
Oh yeah.
So
Didn't surprise me too much.
yeah.
And we got Indy coming up, so I'm sure.
Indy, yeah, they're off this weekend, and they go to
This
Indy,
weekend,
right?
It's just a bigger lap.
Tony's due for the win there this
Oh
time.
yeah. I see him getting
I used to love to go up to New England to go racing. I mean, just it's so beautiful up there. And then the great thing about going to Loudon was just down the road is the most awesome lobster place. And I mean, if you want the full New Hampshire, New England experience, I mean, they have these lobsters in these huge tanks and the whole deal. It's fantastic. I used to love going up there. The last time I was up there, I was working with Todd Bodine, and I think we had a top 3. And then when it was back when it was the Bush Series, I'm not going to give away my age.
He actually new team. They've combined the team.
Mm-hmm.
Jermaine and
I don't know. I was just hearing something
but he's
about
not in
that.
the
We'll
30.
have to
He's
check
in the
that
5.
out. There's another driver that really knows how to market himself. One thing about Todd Bodine, and even the couple years that I did PR for him, he is so good with sponsors, and he's so good at making connections. And one of the things he does is he never, ever loses anybody's phone number. And he always keeps in touch with his sponsors from the past. And I think that's benefited him so well because he's been able to go back to his connections and relationships that he's had as his career changes. He's able to pull those connections back in with whatever deals he has.
Yep.
And it's so important for a driver on any level. I don't care if you're running a street stock or you're in Cup, is to never burn a bridge with anybody.
Nope.
And always keep those people's phone numbers. Always keep in touch with them. Even if they stop sponsoring you or stop giving you anything, still send them your race updates. Still keep in touch with them. Ask them if they want a couple tickets, because you never know. The guy who's the marketing director of that small company, he might get a job and end up a couple years later being the decision maker
CEO
for a
someplace
big
else,
company,
yeah.
and you might need that connection. And I think that's where Todd has been really smart, and he's been able to just continually be a factor and have great sponsorship behind him. Really,
That's what I've always told anybody. You never, ever diss anybody that you're
No.
talking to, because you never know what influence they're going to have later on down the road.
absolutely. And
After
it's
the show,
true.
I'll tell you a true story.
And you never know who that person is hanging around your pit that might have ripped jeans or a yucky T-shirt or whatever. They could be
You
a
never know.
multi-millionaire.
Yep.
So you treat everyone that they could be a potential sponsor and treat them with respect. So that's my advice, my little bit of advice.
Is that what I think it is?
Is that what you think it is?
Oh, okay.
What? This?
A commercial?
No. He's talking about this.
Yeah, that.
Did you see the posting thing that Joe Scarborough was talking about, the wedding band that they had supposedly found or something?
Yeah.
In the car? Yeah, when he was here last week, he threw it at me real quick and closed the door. Hang on,
Because he didn't
we're gonna
know.
hear some
That's somebody else's wedding ring you're wearing?
No.
Oh.
I'm Tony Peter, driver of the number 17 Toyota in the NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, I'm Robert Richardson Jr., driver of the number 23 Dodge Challenger for R3 Motorsports in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and you're watching Let's Talk Racing.
Okay. Will do.
Iowa, Montreal, and Watkins Glen, I believe.
Montreal. Yes.
I told him
I
like
love that.
last year we were going to go to Montreal, so we couldn't find a crew. Everybody had passports. I was supposed to go spot for him. I says, "You're telling me 2 weeks before I can't get a passport that quick? It'll cost me $1,000." Oh, back on live.
Yeah, we were.
But anywho, so there's going to be a few little things that we're going to pop out here for the news here next week.
Cool.
He's supposed to be on the show next week.
Dennis?
Yep.
What's Hudson Hall Racing got news? You got any news?
Anthony be racing this weekend.
They got the car back together?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw somewhere on Facebook he did a late night on it last
Yeah.
night.
We got to send him to Richmond. Pick up some stuff.
Oh, suspension stuff, yeah. I'll say, because it didn't look like it hurt anything other than riding on
Nah, the frame wasn't bent. It was just suspension. So this morning I texted him. I said, okay, next time we're running second, finish second. I don't see no more dumb crap happening. Like, you know.
You asked Matt what I tell Matt to do. I called him up on the phone. I said, go over there, thump that boy upside the head and say, what in the hell were you
He was
doing?
already thumping himself upside
He
the head.
knew,
He knew exactly what he had
knew.
done. And that was a rookie thing.
Going for a first win, I probably would have done the same.
Yeah.
I've done the same thing before. So I couldn't be too mad. But after the race, his dad was pretty upset, and so I got him down on pit road, and I said, just calm down and talk me through what happened. So I understood what he was trying to do, and then come to find out, the 14 doesn't have radios.
Yeah, but the 14 was already all the way down.
Yeah.
On the exit lane, and Anthony tried to make another lane.
Well, the 14 just barely had his tires crossed, but then Anthony...
He was all the way down on the flat.
Went all the way down the flat. Because Anthony got down low enough to get underneath and then pushed up into him.
Well, a couple things. He's 16 years old.
He's learning.
And, he's learning through Hudson and also through what we're teaching him at Race 101 that he needs to listen. He needs to listen. And, that's just like with your kids. And it's sometimes you got to let them put that hand on the stove and let them burn themselves first. And then they'll be like, oh, now I know what they're talking about.
Yeah, but that can get expensive after a while.
See, he learned a very valuable lesson.
The previous races, Anthony has a habit of liking feedback for him has been the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what I want to hear is not what he's telling me. So I'm trying to comprehend what he's really trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So Saturday before qualifying, he told me, he said, the car's good, great, keep it. I said, that trust's going to change tonight quite a bit. So I said, go check time real quick.
When you're like this, too.
So I told him, I said, go check times and come back. So I told his dad, I said, jack it up. This is what we're gonna do. So we made a change to it. Anthony came back and he said, all right, we're ready to go. I said, when you come off turn 4, there's that green, nail it and don't back off till you start turning the car. He says, well, this will spin me out. I said, no, it won't. Trust me. So everyone else ran like 18 O's and 18 1s. He bought the 17.7. So we had the pole quite a bit until Snipe went out. And then Casey went out and popped like a... We had a 76, and he popped like a 73. I was like, daggone it, almost had the pole. So Anthony was like, what'd you do with the car? I said, don't worry about it. It'd be fast tonight. Don't worry about it. It was fast, but...
I put a special set of tires on it for you. Days of Thunder, here we come.
I told him, for the race, don't worry about anything.
You can hold that corner.
Anthony's doing, he's learning. He's and Hudson's trying to help ease that learning curve for him by coaching him. And, once he realizes, he's made a couple mistakes and he learns from those mistakes and he learns to listen because someone that has experience is trying to tell him that. But one of the things I was very proud of Anthony about was he composed. He was very upset when he got out of the car, and I could tell he was ready to be,
He was
upset.
fit to be tied.
And he composed himself. He calmed down before he spoke on the microphone, and he made sure he blamed himself for the incident. He was concerned about the other driver, and he made sure he thanked his sponsors. And to me, I was very proud of him that he did do that, even though he knew he made a crucial mistake. So
he handled himself very well.
And so did JB Sipe. JB wasn't upset. He was just like, man, that's all right. It happened. So, I mean,
That was good.
That was a, you know.
That was in front of the microphone.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't see him after. Well, JB came up after the race.
But I'm sure I'm sure JB, and JB understood, you know, because he's probably been in that situation before.
I doubt Anthony will ever do that again.
No.
But one of the things we're doing with Hudson, and I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. But I'm going to bring up a point about that. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish the point.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, please, Andy.
If y'all can't figure it out, I'm going to have Trevor talk to everybody.
No, all I was going to say is there's a point where you know you're going to finish second.
Right.
Bring the car home in one piece.
Exactly.
And he's got to learn that. And he is learning that. You know, he's so used to the arena cars, and I think that's taught him some bad habits.
Yeah.
They run 8-second laps.
Yeah.
You can do stuff like that in an arena car and get away with it. You can't in a big car.
That's like somebody when they used to run Pro 6 trying to run modifieds. You got to get them out of the Pro 6 mentality.
Hey, man did a good job. You did a good job. Rick said
Listen,
the same thing.
Listen,
Rick said the same
I'm going to tell you what, and I knew it last year, and I'm going to tell everybody this. A modified drives like nothing else you've ever driven before. And if you didn't think you don't get a workout in it.
Oh, you do.
That's a workout. Them cars are a handful.
When I saw Matt come on turn for was it the scuff laps? You come on turn for the pitch sideways. I was up and my dad and Ben was standing next to me, and Matt was scuff laps or qualifying. One of them you got real sideways come on turn 4.
Oh, which time?
I think it was during scuff laps because me and my dad was talking and I was like going on turn 4 and got sideways and I was like, oh boy. You saved it. I mean, it's a good job.
I mean, my question is it going from a car where you can't see your wheels, is it harder to go to a car that you can see your wheels or opposite?
You know what, it doesn't, I actually like the modified because I can see my wheels, because I can tell what the car is doing a little bit better.
Right.
But it's almost like a magnet, and it wants to attract you to it. So when you drive, you've
like
got to be able to look.
Yeah.
And you know, I was talking to Thomas earlier, and we were talking about things. He says, "Man, I don't know how you missed half those wrecks. I don't drive. I'm not a hood pin driver.
Right.
I'm watching out up ahead to what's going. It's like
I do about 4 or 5 cars ahead.
We were all nose to tail, and they were playing bumper cars up front, and I mean it was dominoes because you know the back guy would hit this guy, and he'd hit this one, and then it'd come back, and I'm sitting about 2 car lengths back. I've got the best show in the world going on right in front of me. Cameron Patrick sideways, Anthony Kincaid sideways. Then they straighten out. Somebody hit him again. Well, they go sideways again. You know, so I had the best show in the world. You know, so. But
so giving you my camera.
Oh, you would have got some hellacious shots.
I want to use it next.
I'm going to tell you what. Because everything happened right in front of me. I had Bobby Gary broke a brake line on that last. I came in with the black flag and got that done and went back out and caught up to him. And when he spun there in 2, and we both drove it down, and I seen him kick sideways, and I'm like, oh, this ain't good. And I just backed off, covered the brake, and he just kind of went. And it was pretty. I just stood there and watched it. Nothing else I could do.
You got to have faith to drive through the smoke, right?
The smoke, the fuel, the tires flying.
Oh, God.
So I'd like to thank everybody for watching the show tonight, and we will see y'all next week. And let's get a hello from somebody we know.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Can you hear us still?
Not Edwards.
Oh, a different Trevor?
Trevor Bain.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Oh, hello.